Hi, my name is Lisa Crabtree, and I've been convicted to share my testimony. I was born to a mom who was a party lady, and I was conceived in an affair. I have 3 older siblings, and I have a younger sibling who was also born outside of marriage. And so we have quite a dysfunctional family. There is lots of drugs, lots of alcohol, and for whatever reason, God seemed fit to protect me from that. But I have dealt with it through growing up, living what I lived, abuse, neglect, drugs, alcohol, all around me, to stay out of it. Kind of be a mediator in my family. Sometimes I don't like that, but I'm coming to appreciate that God has a purpose for me in loving on others, and through all the crazy things that my childhood put me through, it's allowed me to be an encouragement to others, that I can see that going on in their life because of my experience, and reach out to them and love on them and encourage them. But sometimes that does hinder me from allowing others to encourage me. I grew up many places, mostly in South Carolina, born in Georgia. Lived in a relationship with my children's father for 7 years. Drugs, alcohol, thought I was going to be his savior, thought I could change him, and that didn't work. That was just a brief part of my story. God moved me from there to Florida. My older sister was here. I came to stay with her. That was in 1996. Went through somewhat of a rebellious stage. Never a drinker or anything like that, but I was just so caught up into my own pain and my hurt and confusion. I was lost. I wasn't there for my children the way I needed to be there for my children. I wasn't even there for myself. Definitely something missing. Didn't quite reach out to God yet, although the Lord did put people in my life through the kids that would invite me to church, and I wore so much shame and just a lot of hurt that no one would ever accept me. That's something my ex would tell me, that no one would ever love me and no one would ever care for me. That I just couldn't believe that even a church would like me. Go forward a few years, God's got me in college, trying to improve myself so I can be a better mom to my kids. In a relationship that provided me with stability, finances, but I wasn't happy. My kids weren't happy, and I was still searching. While I was in college, my second semester, I was directing a grant program as part of a work study. And in that, there was a young lady that was in the program that, she just loved me and the teacher that headed the program. And she came in one day and she said, there's this guy that has noticed you and he wants to meet you. And I said, I'm not looking for a relationship. I considered myself man-hating. And eventually I saw him, and I realized after we finally met that he had seen me several times, had been inquiring about me, and now I know that was God just putting me in a place and putting him in a place that I'm glad he pursued, because he was going to give up on asking me to go out with him, because he's younger than me, and I had kids, and he was in school and I was in school. Then we went on a first date. A friend of mine encouraged me to go, and I did. And it's been a blessing ever since. 6 months into our relationship, he got down on bended knee and asked me to marry him. A few months after that, my baby sister was in a very bad car accident. and we moved to South Carolina to help my mom with her. And once we got the finances of that settled, and the lawyers and everything, we moved to Wyoming, and now we know that that was our desert place. God took us both away from everything that we knew, all our familiar things, and within a week of being there, we began studying the Bible, recognizing who and what we were in the world, and that that's not what we wanted, and that God is what we were missing. The way the church was that we were going to initially, we had to go through these series of studies, and then after we finished those series of studies, then we set up our baptism. I'm an avid studier. I love to be educated. I love to learn. So I studied hard, even some things that they said to confuse me. We continued studying and got baptized, and it was an experience like nothing I've experienced yet in my life. Here we are in Wyoming at this point, and there is a horse trough with water in it. I go down, and I am afraid of water. I go down and I come back up, and I don't know, you hear people talk about like you feel like there's like light shining around you and you're aglow. I was warm. It was just like me and God totally communing. Being a person who likes to write, and I just cannot put it to accurate words to describe that experience. And I've seen other people struggle with it too. It's just genuine connection with God and knowing that I was new. I was not the person that went down in that water. From there, we began having some struggles and conflicts with the church because we were studying and we didn't agree with some of the things they were doing. God was showing us different things. We did meet with the church leadership, and we ended up leaving. And shortly after that, a friend invited us to our Calvary Chapel, and we went, and it was home from the beginning. We both ended up getting involved in ministry, me first. Kids loved it. We grew with the church. When we left to move back to Florida in 2006, we had grown from probably being a church family of about 50 to 80, depending on how many kids were there, to over 800. And we got to participate in that growth and watch people's lives be changed and our lives be changed. If I could say, gosh, just one thing, is God has shown me through my life. I've always been considered the good girl because everybody else did drugs and alcohol. I have learned that I'm not, and that my thoughts can be pretty evil. The drugs and alcohol abuse around me has not left me. It is still there in my family. I'm the first believer. I don't want to be the only believer. My sister is learning and growing, and that I'm excited about. My family, they have knowledge, but they don't have a relationship yet. So, in God's timing and not mine, I've had to learn that, and I've learned how to kind of let go and let Him lead. So that's it.